Good day, ma'am and classmates. We are the Group 6, and our topic is entitled Inquiry-Based Learning. From the word inquiry, what did it comes up to your mind? So, as we proceed, we can find out what is it. Objective. Define the inquiry-based learning. Differentiate the four types of inquiry-based learning. Know the steps to be able to apply inquiry-based learning in the field of specialization. Nature of inquiry-based learning. A process of asking questions. This has spurred the innumerable developments that we continue to enjoy in our society today. The process of inquiry is a basic learning activity that every teacher is expected to facilitate. IBL as an approach essentially involves tasks requiring learners' active participation in finding answers to curricular questions. Learners are given opportunities to engage in self-regulated activities as they pursue their investigation. So, inquiry, from its simplest definition, a process of asking questions. And using IBL in the language classroom can facilitate the development of communication skills as it involves activities such as writing questions, deliberating on ways of finding answers to curricular questions, and presenting outputs as evidence of inquiry, among others. So, the inquiry-based learning encourages students to work together in accomplishing their task. It should be noted that the use of technology in IBL is just one of the many other sources of information in the process of inquiry. This does not exclude the other resources, human and non-human, in gathering information. However, learners are undeniably familiar and probably more adept in exploring the internet.
When to use.
Inquiry-based instruction offers an especially appropriate approach to learning about language variation, identity, and power since IBI can provide students with opportunities to learn about current issues in sociolinguistics through sharing and debating on a personal experience with language from multiple perspectives. Chris Holm and Godley 2011. Therefore, inquiry-based learning is an educational strategy in which students follow methods and practices similar to those of professional scientists in order to construct knowledge. There are 5 essential components of inquiry-based learning. Number 1, orientation or observation. The teacher introduces a new topic or concept. Students explore the topic through research, direct instruction, and hands-on activities. Number 2, question or conceptualize. Students develop questions related to the topic, make predictions, and hypothesize. Number 3, investigation. This is the lengthiest part of inquiry learning. Students take the initiative with appropriate teacher support to discover answers, to find evidence to support or disprove hypotheses, and to conduct research. Number 4, conclusion. Having collected information and data, students develop conclusions and answers to their questions. They determine if their ideas or hypotheses prove correct or have flaws. This may lead to more questions. Number 5, discussion or sharing. All students can learn from each other at this point by presenting results. The teacher should guide discussions, encouraging debate, more questions, and reflection. The benefits of inquiry-based learning are improved student engagement, greater student mastery, improved knowledge retention.
My name is Irish Care Asanyang. So there are 4 types of inquiry. The first type of inquiry is that structured inquiry. This lets the students follow the lead of the teacher as the entire class engages in one inquiry together. So from the word structured, so it is a well-organized question. So the students investigate the teacher-presented question through a prescribed procedure and receive explicit step-by-step guidelines. So at this process, the students will go through a hands-on investigation such as making observations, collecting data, and organizing the data. So, however, the students do not, however, in this process, the students do not acquire thinking autonomously, or they do not require to think independently because the process, the questions, and also the answer is known in advance. So, in this process, that all the students need to do is to go along with the teacher or to interact with the teacher. They will follow the lead, as it said earlier that the students will follow the lead of the teacher. So it is a spoon feeding process or spoon feeding question. So the questions is given already and the answers is given already. And also the process of how to come up the outcome or the answer. So that is why it is called structured inquiry, or a well-organized questions and a well-given procedure, data, and answers. The second inquiry is that the controlled inquiry. So the teacher chooses topics and identifies the resources that the students will use to answer questions. So from the word controlled, so it is the teacher who will have the control. So the teacher will choose the topics for the students, and also the teachers will provide the resources that the students will gonna use in order to come up the answers of the questions. So another one is when we say controlled inquiry, so it is that the teacher will give the question and then the students will find the question according to the resources that the teacher will provide. So after getting the answer, typically all the learners demonstrate their understanding. So after coming up the answers, so the students will discuss with the class about the understanding of their topics, or nasabtan ba nila ang ilhang nakuha nga questions, naaba sila na learn ana by that questions, or kanang napa ba sila kakulangon ana sa pagkuha. That is why it is called controlled inquiry, because the teacher itself know already that the students will work together in order to come up the answer. So, kabalo na siya daan kung unsa ang paignan sa mga estudyante. Kung ang mga estudyante ba after the discussion mo pasar, or they will retain to that topic. They will go back to that topic in order to understand well. That's it.
Guided inquiry. The teacher choose a topic or question and student design product or solution. For example, teacher choose a topic or design for the student and student give a solution for her topics. 4. Inquiry. Students are allowed to choose their own topic without any reference to a prescribed outcome. For example, students are allowed to choose her topic without any outcome.
Rules of the teacher. One of the rules of a teacher is that The success of IBL largely depends on the careful planning of the teacher in relation to the curriculum. The language teacher needs to be looked into the learning competencies that can be satisfied by a simple inquiry or more complex inquiry. He or she controls and prepares the topic for investigation and guides the learners by setting questions to be explored. And it is assumed that the teacher is knowledgeable of the sources of information and whether the learners have access to those sources. So one of the rules of the teacher is the following fields in designing an IBL, or the ABSEC and the COSINGINSEC 2016. Number 1 is the prior knowledge and capacity. Number 2, context, which the learners requires meaning from experience. Number 3, content and learning materials. Number 4, process. Number 5, strategy of reactions and behavior. And number 6 is the course outcomes.
In order to be success, the teacher must be more careful in planning in relation to the curriculum. Teacher needs to look into the learning competences, and he or she must be the one to control and prepare the topic for the investigation, and also he or she must be guide the learners in their inquiry, and by setting questions to be exclude. As we all know, today the internet is the source of everything, and in inquiry-based learning, the teacher must be one of the source of information, and the teacher must be more knowledgeable in order for the students to be guided from their inquiry or their investigation.
Rule of technology. The Internet of World Wide Web offers lot of platforms for mining information. Language teacher who use IBL has the responsibility to direct learner to website that provide the proper information. Should support the object of inquiry which aligned to the learning competences in K-12 language curriculum. It should be noted that the use of technology in IBL just one of the many other sources of information in the process of inquiry. Technology affects the way individuals communicate, learn, and think. It helps society and determines how people interact with each other on a daily basis. Technology plays an important role in society today. It has positive and negative effect on the world and it impacts daily lives.
Steps to be able to apply IBL in the field of specialization. At first, let us all define and know what is IBL. IBL is also known as inquiry-based learning. Inquiry-based learning is a pedagogy which best enables students to experience the processes of knowledge creation and the key attributes or learning stimulated by inquiry. A student-centered approach, a move to self-directed learning, and an active approach to learning. And these are the steps to being able to apply the inquiry-based learning. Step 1. Reading curriculum guide in English or Filipino subject. So you must identify a grade level from K to 12 curriculum and read the curriculum guide for English or Filipino of this level. You must focus your reading on the different language competencies of every language lesson. Step 2. Identifying language competency for IBL. You must find learning competencies in the chosen curriculum guide that are suited for an IBL. Or you must determine the type of inquiry that you will be using.
Thank you everyone. Again, we are the group 6, namely Rendimi O. Kamanyan, Charlene Maghanoy Tarok, Iris Care Aseniero, Kisha Ann Amanti Nanali, Noresha Ramos, Sheila Villarasa Palado, and Winnie Lin Wu. Our topic is entitled Inquiry-Based Learning.